Let's see a new topic, that is pointers. Now, what is pointer? Now, pointer, it's a memory location. Okay, a pointer is nothing but it's a memory location which holds an address of another location. Okay, it holds an address of another location where data is stored. Now, for example, if you have declared an integer variable x, so this x variable will occupy 2 bytes. Okay, let's assume that starting address is 1000 and second address location is in 1002. Okay, so integer is occupying 2 bytes, maybe starting address 1000 and 1002. And inside this x, we are going to store an integer value by giving it x equals to 25. Okay, so 25 will be stored in this x. Whereas in this location, instead of storing an integer by like 25, 35, I'll store this address of this starting address of this x, that is nothing but 1000. Okay, so we call, this location is pointing to another location, hence we call this as pointer. Fine, so I can give some name, let's take it as an p. So what is pointer? A pointer is nothing but which holds an address of another location where data has been stored. A pointer is nothing but it's a location which holds an address of another location where data has been stored. So we call that as a pointer. Pointer variable we call it, whereas this we call just as an variable. So variable is the one which holds the data, whereas pointer variable is the one which holds an address. Now, if you take your random access memory, this whole RAM is divided into rows into columns in a matrix format. The whole RAM is divided, this whole RAM is divided into rows into columns in a matrix format. You can assume it like this. Actually, it is not divided. You can assume the whole random access memory in the form of matrix format. So every location, each and every location here, this can hold 1 byte of data. It can hold 1 byte of data. That means you can store here 8-bit information like 10101101. So like this, an 8-bit information can be stored in every block. And every block will have an identification number. How your house will have a house number, same way each block will have an identification number. So all memory addresses, memory location will start from address 0000. So this is not a decimal 0, I'm taking it as an hexadecimal. Internally it is going to be a binary value. For our convenience, I'll take an hexadecimal value. So second location will have an address as 0001, third location as in 0002, so like this 0003, 0004, 0005, this is going to be a 0006, 0007, this goes on up to 0FFF. Okay, this is all first column. Second column, you can assume that it starts from 0000, then it will go up to here, instead of 200, we'll take it as 1000 up to 101FFF. Same way, the third column will start from 2000, it will go up to 2FFF. Same way, this is going to be a 3000 up to 3FFF. So next is nothing but 400, so I'm taking it to the next column. So like this keeps on doing it up to the end as going to be here, that is F000, and this goes up to FFFF. So this is how your whole memory has been organized. Now whenever I say here int x, okay, whenever I declare an integer variable by giving here int of x, this x will occupy 2 continuous blocks. So let's take here, these are the 2 blocks allocated for x. Okay, so that means 2 bytes, 2 blocks means 2 bytes has been allocated. Each block is made up of 8 bits, that means total 16 bits. So here the lower byte data has been stored and then the upper byte data has been stored. Okay, so now if I give here x is equals to 25, so if I give here x is equals to 25, that 25 is been stored in this 2 bytes location. How it is stored, we have already seen it in basic elements of C language. So that is total 16 bits, 15 will be used as an data bit, the last will be used as an sign bit. So that means here the 25 has been stored. So in an integer variable, you are storing an integer data. So let's take up another two more locations, two more bytes. Okay, so let's take here these 2 bytes. Now see here, for x memory location, the starting address you can take here is this column is in 200 and row is nothing but 2005. The starting address you can take it as in 2005 and the second location is going to be at 2006. Okay, so I'll take up here another 2 more bytes. Okay, another 2 more bytes, and I want to give the name for this 2 bytes as P. Okay, so P is the name given to this 2 bytes. And instead of storing here the data, that is 25 data, okay, inside this P or 35 data, so I'll store the starting address of this. So that is nothing but I'll store here 2005. That means this location is holding an address. That means we are going to store here 05 in the first byte and then 20. So this 20 is nothing but it's of 8-bit information. So that is overall is nothing but for simplicity we'll take it as in 2005 has been stored inside this P. That means this P is pointing to some other location. It is pointing to some other location where there is an data stored. Okay, so P is a location which holds an address of another location where data is been stored. Hence this P we call it as an pointer variable. Okay, whereas this we call just as an variable because it holds an data. Variable is the one which holds the data, whereas pointer variable is the one which holds an address. And very important is it holds an address of another location where data is been stored. So we call that as an pointer variable. Same way, you can take up here another 2 more bytes location allocated. Okay, and I want to give the name as an P2. Fine. So you can take some other 2 more bytes. Now P's starting address is what? It is in the 000th column. So you can take the starting address of this as 0003. The next location is nothing but your 0004. Okay, it's starting from here 0003 and second location is 004. Let's take your P2. Okay, P2, some maybe starting address is going to be here 2001. So here 2001 and the second location is going to be 2002. Okay, so 2001 and 200 been allocated for this P. Fine. Now inside this P2 I'll store here 0003. Okay, that means P2 is holding an address of P. Is it in P we have stored your data? So P is not holding your data, P is holding an address. So that means P2 is holding an address of a location where address is stored, not data is stored. Whereas P is holding an address of a location where data is stored. Okay, whereas P2 is holding an address of a location where address is stored, hence we call this as pointer to pointer. So these are the 3 concepts available: variable, pointer variable and pointer to pointer variable. So variable is the one which holds the data, pointer variable is the one which holds an address of another location where data is stored, whereas pointer to pointer variable is the one which holds an address of another location where address is been stored. We call that as a pointer to pointer variable.